Well, Sean, after one very long year of cinema, both good and bad, we finally reached the end.
Yes, that is true. And I am so excited to finally talk about our best of list. We will not be talking about the bad movies today. It's all going to be the best of the best that we saw. And I'm really excited for that.
We decided, because this year was so divisive in terms of like how much good and how much bad there was, we've decided to do our top and bottom 20 films. So you'll be seeing the top and bottom 20 and some honorable mentions thrown in. And that'll give you a more full picture.
Plus, especially when it's like a best of list. I kind of always am like, oh, but there's so many great ones you have to leave off the list when you only do 10.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be able to talk about some more of these movies that I saw, especially because, unfortunately, I didn't get reviews on for all these movies.
Well,
that is my goal for this year. But before we can get to 2016, let's get started.
All right, Sean, why don't you kick us off with some honorable mentions? Just list them off.
From least to best, we have Furious 7, Trainwreck, Kingsman: A Secret Service, Krampus, an underrated horror movie of the year, and The Gift.
I would call Krampus an overrated horror movie of the year.
All right, well,
so we disagree on that one.
We definitely disagree on Krampus.
I have some honorable mentions as well. I will kick us off at number 25, I suppose, on my list, with Spectre. Then we have No Escape, a big surprise for me, actually. Number 23, we got Kingsman: The Secret Service. And 22, we have The Walk. And at 21, we have Everest. So that'll be the movies that were good, but not quite good enough to hit the top 20.
Let's get started with number 20. On my side, I have Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I know you mean well. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. There's only one path to peace. Your extinction.
Now, I know I missed doing the review. I'm going to review it for Civil War. But anyway, the movie itself, it's not as good as Avengers. However, it is still really fun. I really enjoyed the action. I enjoy seeing where the characters have gone since Avengers and where they're going to be going. I just thought it was a really fun, and Ultron's a really good villain.
Love James Spader.
Oh, of course.
All right, and my number 20, we have Bridge of Spies.
Something important has come up. We've got a Soviet spy. The Russians want their man back before he cracks. We want you to negotiate the swap.
This is the Spielberg film of this year. Bridge of Spies. It's a great kind of Cold War-esque thriller slash, historical drama. And I love, what Spielberg was able to do with the story. I knew some things about it, but Tom Hanks gives an incredible performance here. The production design is really solid. It made me feel like I was actually looking at this, world in the past. So definitely good stuff there. Very well shot by Janusz Kaminski, who is Spielberg's cinematographer for a while now, off and on. But, pretty solid movie. I really liked the look of it. I loved how it felt, and it kind of had that, Spielberg excitement, so I really did enjoy it.
I really liked it too. I will say no more. My number 19 is Spectre.
Mexico City. What were you doing there?
I was taking some overdue holiday.
I felt like it got underrated reviews. It's not a perfect James Bond movie, but it's still a lot of fun. Still Sam Mendes, still Daniel Craig, and it's what I expected it to be. It's just a really good James Bond movie. And it was. The villain is not the best, but other than the villain, I think most of this is good. It had some great action sequences. I love the opening chase sequence. I reviewed it. I don't want to say much more. Just really, really, really good action thriller.
I mean, I didn't like it nearly as much as Skyfall. I think it was definitely a step down, but it's still well shot, well made film. It's got some narrative issues, which is mostly what kept it off my list. At number 19 on my list, we have Inside Out.
I'm joy. This is sadness. That's anger. What? This is disgust. And that's fear. We're Riley's emotions.
Brain freeze! Now, I did not enjoy this film as much as a lot of other people did, but I still really did like it. I liked the originality of the idea, even though it is based on several different concepts in the past. I really think they did take it in new directions and did something that Pixar, again, is branching out into new directions with their storytelling, which is really cool. The animation is terrific, great new characters, and really fun story, and something that both kids and adults can get into. So that's what's important.
All right, my number 18 is The Walk.
People ask me, why do you risk death? For me, this is life.
Now, for those who saw my review, I guess I have to call myself out because it's only fair. I may have given this a little bit high of a rating. I gave it 5 stars, and I think that was kind of because we just seen some really bad movies.
Yeah.
And I was kind of getting tired of the downward trend, so I was sort of rating on a curve, and I know it's not a good thing to do. I'm going to do my best this year not to do that anymore. That's another goal of 2016 reviews, not to grade on any curves. But I did enjoy the movie. Robert Zemeckis, again, great director, and when they're high up on the Twin Towers, I was kind of, squirming in my seat a little bit because I do not like heights. And those were some intense sequences. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was fantastic in this. I don't want to rehash my whole review. It's just really, really good movie.
My number 18 is Straight Outta Compton.
You're listening to Compton's very own Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and Dr. Dre. I gotta tell you, you are witnessing history.
Yo, Dre, what up? I got something to say.
This was a big surprise for me this year. I knew really nothing about the story of NWA. I knew really nothing about NWA besides there were some rap group from the 90s. Not a rap fan, but the fact that I like this movie so much should show you that you don't really need to be a fan of of rap or anything to get into this film. It's a very good biopic. It's very interesting seeing what these guys went through and how this group that's so well known never really, had it all. They never really were basking in money and greatness. They always were going through some issues. But it's really cool to see people, coming from just obscurity, complete nothing, and rising to fame and success, and then seeing what hardships that brings too. Really good performances, especially from Ice Cube's son. He does a great job portraying his father. Very impressed. And very well directed by F. Gary Gray. I have to give him credit too. He did a very nice job.
My number 17 is The Big Short.
Michael, how are you?
I found something really interesting.
The whole housing market is propped up on these bad loans. They will fail.
The housing market is rock solid.
It's a time bomb.
This one kind of came out of left field because I hadn't heard about it, but you mentioned it and other critics were reviewing it, and I was like, alright, let's go see it. And this movie's really funny. It's made by the director, and I'm blanking on his name right now, and I apologize, of Anchorman, Step Brothers, and the other guys. 3 comedies I absolutely like. This one definitely has a more serious take, though, because it's about a real-life event of Wall Street crashing in 2011. However, it's still done with a bit of tongue-in-cheek comedy, which adds to it, so it's not just a serious, dramatic movie the whole way through, which I really enjoyed. I like the random celebrity cameos. Those were entertaining. Just an all-out entertaining comedy. Go check it out. It's in theaters right now.
It's directed by Adam Kay, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, I know I'm going to be reminded in like 5 seconds.
17 for me is The Good Dinosaur.
We need to get home.
Now I know this will cause a little bit of controversy for me putting it above Inside Out. But again, as I said, I didn't get into Inside Out as much as a lot of other people did. In fact, I found myself more involved in this film because, first of all, the visuals were spectacular. Some of the best animation that Pixar's ever done. A lot of people criticize the cartooniness of the main characters, but I didn't have a problem with that because it's an animated film. To have lifelike scenery and cartoony characters is just a stylistic choice. I didn't think it was that distracting or bad. It's just the way they went, and I think it was fine. In fact, they should be applauded for going so far as to make those the scenes so lifelike and real and great looking. But most of all, I really enjoyed the character interaction. I really enjoyed their relationship and how they bonded over the film, and I thought that was very strong, very well done. And I liked the simple story, but I liked the way it was done of getting back home. It's been done before, but I think it was done well here, and then I'm going to give it a pass. Sure, the story's been done before, but you still have to acknowledge there's a lot of talent put into this film.
Yeah,
So
I like Inside Out more, but I definitely agree. I really enjoyed Good Dinosaur. Just didn't make my list. Mine 16 is Everest.
You, my friends, are following in the very footsteps of history. Something beyond the power of words to describe. Human beings simply aren't built to function at the cruising altitude of a 747. Our bodies will be literally dying. Everest is another beast altogether.
This is basically the perfect storm on a mountain, and I can't say much more about the plot without revealing anything, but it's great. It's based on a real-life situation, not just random people that went to Everest, but an actual group of people that went to Everest in the 90s. And it's a really, pardon the pun, chilling thrill, movie, because you are in suspense when they're on that mountain, just terrified for these people. It's in no way a horror movie, mind you, of course, so I'm not saying chilling in that way, but it's definitely, you feel like you're there, I guess. When I was in the theater, I don't know, I actually started feeling a little cold in the theater just watching that stinking movie, especially because I saw it on IMAX. That was a great movie to see on IMAX. It just had amazing visuals, great acting. I'm surprised people aren't talking about it that much. It definitely deserves more buzz, so definitely go see it.
My number 16 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. I agreed with the majority that this is probably not as good of a movie as the first Avengers film. But what I did like about it is, first of all, it's a very, very funny movie, first of all. A lot of the wit and comedy that Joss Whedon really brings well to anything he really does. So that was all here. It was all very good. I loved how the character interactions were all great too, which is what made the first Avengers film so strong. There were a couple stumbles, couple missteps, but as I agree with Sean, James Spader did an excellent job playing Ultron, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, the stuff that obviously are problematic didn't bother me as much.
Yeah, I actually just rewatched it the other day just to make sure it belongs on my list, and yeah, it's still an amazing, fun movie.
Okay.
My number 15 is Inside Out.
What was that? Was it a bear?
There are no bears in San Francisco.
I saw a really hairy guy. He looked like a bear.
I really did like this movie. I saw it a week late anyways, so I'm sorry I didn't get a review out for this. It would have been late though. And Inside Out was one of my favorite Pixar movies in a while. The best Pixar movie to come out in the last 5 years since Toy Story 3. Easily, by far. I love the characters. I love the visuals. I love the ideas they have, with regards to memory and how your brain works and stuff, and explaining it to kids, but adults can still get into it because we know enough about it to get what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of a cool visual in that way. The imaginary character wasn't annoying. He was funny, and that can be very dangerous to have a character like that in kids' movies, but it was done really well. I could talk a lot more about it. Just really great Pixar movie.
All right, so my number 15 is Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation.
Open the door! Yeah, okay.
Benji, open that door right now!
Yeah, I'm trying.
Come on.
This is the 5th entry in the Mission Impossible series, and after watching Ghost Protocol, I was like, well, nothing can really get close to that. It's going to be downhill from here. But luckily, Christopher McQuarrie, he proved me wrong. He took his good direction with Jack Reacher and brought it here, and it really worked out for me a lot. The chase sequences were excellent. Tom Tom Cruise is as good as ever in this film and in this role, and I really loved the action. It was just a lot of fun. This movie, I'm a sucker for these kind of fun action movies, and this one just proves that, hey, this series has a lot of life left in it. A lot of good stories left to tell.
By number 14, yes, you do have Jurassic World on your top 20 lists, right? Right?
Your impression is so bad.
But I know it was. But yes, Jurassic World, guys. I'm a Jurassic Park fan, and this is everything I wanted the new Jurassic Park movie to be. The dinosaur theme park was awesome. The Indominus Rex was awesome. And the thing I was most concerned about when seeing the trailer, the trained velociraptors turned out were awesome. And I love Chris Pratt in this movie. I will probably watch just about anything that guy is in at this point.
Yeah.
Just based on him being in it. I love the use of the old scores with the new. I don't just want to rehash all my thoughts. Just this was a lot of fun. One of the best summer blockbusters we had all year. I don't get the hate this movie's getting or the people that are saying this is disappointing. I really strongly disagree. Not even going as a fan, just looking at it as a movie. It's a really well put together movie.
My number 14 is It Follows.
If it kills her, it gets me and goes straight down the line whoever started it.
What exactly is supposed to be following you?
I don't know.
This horror movie definitely blew me away. I really enjoyed It Follows, and I could have guaranteed you at the beginning of the year, toward the beginning of the year when we saw this, that it would have been in my top 10. It surprised me how good this year was. But It Follows, great movie. Takes a lot from Halloween and a few other horror films from the 70s. But at the same time, it puts a fresh new twist on it. It makes some concept that's legitimately scary, and I really don't want to give anything away from this movie because if you have not seen it yet, definitely go check this out because it was an indie hit that just scared me. It thrilled me. It brought some good performances, some really great cinematography, and someone who obviously cares about horror and cares about the history of horror and wants to bring back some of the elements of the past. And in a good way. So I really enjoyed it.
My number 13 is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Get your seatbelt on. You want to be done now?
I agree with everything you said. The action is great. I have not actually seen Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
I know, but the sequel's coming out this year, so of course I'm going to see it. I own the Blu-ray. But I'm excited to watch it after seeing this movie and seeing what else this director has done. And Tom Cruise, again, just blows it out of the water with this movie. Not as good as Ghost Protocol, but that's Ghost Protocol. You know, if I were to pick a favorite action sequence, it'd probably be the car chase scene, maybe, or the water scene where he's under in the turbine thing. It'd be one of those two.
And I heard Tom Cruise actually learned to hold his breath that long.
I know. No, this dude is amazing. For those who don't know, Tom Cruise does his own stunts pretty much 100% of the time. Obviously there's rigs and stuff. He's not like that crazy. Like the opening scene when he's holding on to the plane. That's him holding on to the side of a plane going into the air. That's not CGI in any way. Just, this dude is insane, but in all the best ways for an action movie. It's so cool. And gotta give him props for that. And this movie was a lot of fun.
All right, moving on. My number 13 is Jurassic World.
I'm really proud of you for going on this trip.
You're gonna have so much fun. And remember, if something chases you,
I had a really good time at this film. I do not get the hate. First of all, I love Jurassic Park. It is one of my favorite films from the 90s.
And you don't even like the other two sequels.
No, I don't like the other two sequels. But this is finally, I think we can both agree, the sequel that Jurassic Park deserved. Finally, we get, you know, a really fun story, a really cool concept, an actual legitimate reason to continue a series. You know, after the first two just did, oh, there's another island But this one gave a legitimate reason. The park is open. What a cool idea. I really liked seeing, what this park as like a theme park like Disney World would look like. It's really cool, and you could totally buy this being a sort of realistic thing. And I really love Chris Pratt. I think he's a great action hero, and it was really cool seeing him in this. Also, the action and the thrills were still there, and they were still a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed, being a part of it. It felt like that. It was a very well made film. Definitely lived up as much as it could have to the original.
My number 12 is Sicario.
State Department is pulling an agent that specializes in responding to escalated cartel activity.
This is not my department.
FBI!
I really enjoyed watching this movie. Great thriller. Emily Blunt. I mentioned Tom Cruise is one of my favorite actors. Well, I really like Edge of Tomorrow because Emily Blunt is one of my favorite actresses.
Yeah.
Because she is phenomenal in this movie as well. She can act, man. She's really good in action movies and thrillers. And it's also Denis Villeneuve's third movie, I believe. That might not be true. But it's the third movie I know of.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite because he made Prisoners, and that's like my second favorite thriller of all time. But Sicario is really good. All the acting, the story, everything, just the weird twists they talk about with the Mexican drug cartels and what the police are doing down there. Obviously, I don't know if it's based in any way on reality, but in this world of the movie, it is pretty creepy what's going on, and I really enjoyed the movie.
My number 12 is The Gift.
Excuse me, is your name Simon?
Yes, sir.
It is you. We went to school together.
This is my wife, Robin. This is, I didn't get your name.
Gordon Mosley. Gordo.
Gordo? Oh, my God. I'm so sorry I didn't recognize you. It's been a very, very long time. He's delusional and thinks that we're friends.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest surprise of this year. Was very unsure about...
Oh, you thought you were going to hate it. I remember
I know.
This with you.
I was like, I don't know about this. This seems dumb. Because he wrote and directed the film and starred in it. So it's like, okay, that's a lot for one guy to do. And I'd never seen his work before like this. But, oh boy, this is a good movie. This is like this year's Gone Girl type film. I mean, it is really well made. First of all, very well shot, very well acted. Jason Bateman, the guy can act in not comedies, guys. It was very impressive. And actually, I can't remember the actress's name, but she did a very good job too.
I don't remember it either.
Yeah, and Joel Edgerton, though. I think is it Rebecca Hall? I don't know if that's...
That sounds right.
That's just
I might be wrong, but that sounds right.
Yeah, and then Joel Edgerton, terrific performance there as well. But this movie builds suspense really well. It knows what it's doing. It takes the right narrative turns. It doesn't fall into too many cliches, and it keeps you guessing, which I love. This is the type of thriller that I love. And it really blew out way my expectations. I really enjoyed this film.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed this movie too. My number 11. This one was kind of tough for me not to put in my top 10 because I really enjoyed this movie. But Bridge of Spies.
I'm talking to you about the security of your country.
Why aren't we hanging him? He's a spy! You're asking me to violate the Constitution.
I am a huge Spielberg fan. Grew up watching his movies. Huge influence on me and my love of film. And this one, I loved most of this movie. Yeah, it had a couple problems in the middle there, but they were really minor. And the majority of this movie was just fascinating. I loved the Cold War feel. I loved just the look of it.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said in my review, I've always kind of been interested in that part of history, like World War II, then leading into the Cold War and stuff, and what was going on in the culture. And it was really cool getting to see that here. And just the acting is great. Tom Hanks, man. That dude, I mean, everyone knows it, but he can act. He is fantastic in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely see Bridge of Spies if you haven't.
For my number 11, I have a movie I really wanted to put in my top 10, but just missed it, is Sicario.
Every day across that border, people are killed with his blessing. To find him would be like discovering a vaccine.
This movie was really, really good. It definitely was a great follow-up for Denis Villeneuve. I know his name's hard to pronounce because it's French.
Yeah.
My brain just explodes when I try to read French. But you know, I have not seen Enemy, but I really enjoyed Prisoners. I really thought it was a very, very solid movie. But this one, first of all, I agree. Great performance by Emily Blunt, but even more impressive in this movie, because Emily Blunt always does good work, was Benicio del Toro in this film. He steals the final act of this movie, and I can't say more than that because it was all a spoiler, but wow, that guy, he's got a second win coming. I can just see it. Incredible job. Incredible job. Also, the elephant in the room, Roger Deakins, yet again.
Right, forgot to mention him.
Yet again, pulls off some of the greatest camera work you can possibly even think of in a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Just such a well shot film. Like the sequences at night, you actually feel like this is at night. During the Juarez, they were driving through like the city of Juarez, and it was creepy, and it was extremely well done. The direction was incredible. It does all the right things for me. Is it the strongest movie in the world? No, you know, there's a couple issues, but it really excels based on the elements I just shared with you.